Here's the thing. This new series will be called, as for my YouTube channel, I will call this Raw One-on-One. It's like a project that I create to be personal. Like when you sit there, you chose to click on this video, you listen. I talk a little bit about life, about what I see. There were things where I said I wanted to talk about my failures, where I blamed myself what I couldn't do in past relationships, in personal relationships, with friends, in love, where I blame myself that the task to make one happy is impossible. You can do all the things you want to do for a person that you love, like, or you resonate with, very much so. And you'll fail. And try to make it like this. Don't base it on sex, because people think sex is love, or making love is love. That is not actually what one might think that is. It is more, to some people it becomes sex-clusive, and it's a topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about. But I want to step away from that a little bit and not base it on that. It's more like, what do you feel? Where's the loyalty? And I say that loyalty is here. It's not bodily, it's not body exclusive, it's where are you here? I don't care who you deal with, what you deal with, what you do, and how your lifestyle is. Can I count on you when shit hits the fan? Can you be there when I really need you? Can you feel that when needed? But here's the thing, you can serve as much as you want. You can suggest as much as you want. And I've been looking at people for months now that have the same fights over and over and over again. Talking about the change of the world, being the analyzers of the world, brilliant in their mind, not willing to change within themselves, not willing to find their own cause, and why they exist, and why they're on this planet, and what's the purpose. So I say, if I cannot manage for myself to change myself for what I want in my life, my environment doesn't have a chance to change. And when I'm trying to, or when I try to give hints, tips and tricks of how to help the situation, how to see where this one is, how to see where this one is, how to see where that one is and that one, you know what I find is that I always have an idea myself to handle a situation in peace, to solve it in peace, state my case, and say, this is what I like, this is how I feel. Then I have yet to find people to say, which is rare, that one can say you're entitled to your opinion. So we don't necessarily have to agree, but that doesn't mean you have to go to war. So my outlook is for the changes that are still ahead and we're still involved in is get ourselves together, try to change, trying to make little changes, not to loop processes within us that we do over and over and over again, and we're looping. But we want to be the ones that, yeah, I'm so developed, I'm so spiritual, I'm so far ahead. I don't even want to use it a buzzword. It's like, do you make sense? Can you do it right, or can't you do it right? We wake up with these downloads, these dreams that give us instructions to do things. And I say, to all the downloads you have, to all the theory that you have, and I think Bruce Lee said that, knowledge will break down the word knowledge to knowledge, or let's say downloads, are useless if you have no application for it. So you can know about how an Einstein-Rosen bridge can be created, but if you have no application, what does it do? It doesn't do actually nothing. It's a theory that you can lean on, hoping that one day somebody might find something that can make something that will bring something forth. I mean, I'm not a Bible guy or Quran or Torah or Bhagavad Gita or because I believe all the books stem from a source. All the books are in their own right, have a lot to say and a lot to teach. But we forgot how to interpret, we forgot how to read, we forgot how to process data, we forgot how to apply the ancient technology into this world. That comes with everything that makes you, in your existence, in your own right, to become a godly being or an intergalactic human. Because this is the test. Can you handle the waves? Can you hold on to the raft going down the river as the river intensifies before we hit that drop? And that drop we are going to hit. I don't base it on one date. The drop is coming. The drop is pretty soon. I see that in the people around me, and I see where everything else goes that is still stuck in a three-dimensional linear way of thinking that they can solve the problems of the world, and it doesn't happen overnight. We don't see the change we want to be. We are frustrated because we look at the news and it gets worse. Well, it has to get really, really, really dark, and shift has to hit the fan, so a few of us come into realization, okay, this no longer works. So my take on these battles that we have is surrender. Let that go. Don't blame yourself. I still, in my heart, love the ones that I've lost in the past for who they are. But I cannot make that change that I would want for them that affects me because I feel vulnerable in that case. Let's say, for example, you have a friend or a partner or whatever, and you're really, really emotionally entangled, which most of us are. And your partner is more loud, screams, waltzes in everything, everything is according to your partner, and this is the way I see it, and you say, okay, let's do it the way you want it. And you do everything your partner wants. You try to fulfill everything to make it right. You bend yourself to a point where you reach exhaustion, and your partner or your friend doesn't realize. So we can sweet talk relations that we have, but if they're not sweet, then we have to move it. Moving by, if I don't want these fights, and if I don't want these situations, and you try to inspire that you don't want it, and there's no, and I'm not an apostle, and I am not perfect, and I have flaws, but if somebody corrects me in a most constructive manner, I stand corrected and say correct. I have to fix that. I see that. I can resonate with that. Another quote is, knowingness does not require belief. Because if you know, you no longer have to trust into a thought pattern that could be something that makes sense. You don't know. A lot of religions are based on I believe. You have no proof of anything but rhetoric, theory, and if you're this, and something is being promised in the afterlife, and it's not here right now, and everybody lives their life for the afterlife. In part, somehow, it's still in us. Even those that say, I'm an atheist, or this and that, you still base it on a buzzword that sounds like a religion. No more cults. No more religion. No more stuff to rely upon that is promised when you fulfill something, but you don't know it. Why you don't know it? Because you have never made the experience that it actually can take place. And what's happening to us now is make the experience how you feel. And what I learned for myself, which is a great, great, great opportunity to reflect, is if somebody doesn't want to listen, and somebody does not want to change, and they want to keep on doing what they're doing, you withdraw. energetically. You get out of it. And then you look at the ones that are fighting. Another example, you have a partner that is very shy. Ducks and dodges bullets all the time, and shh, don't be too loud. Don't say this. I don't want to say this, but you're a person you want to be. I want to say I'm not from this planet. I want to say that I feel that I am Arcturian. And if this one laughs about me, you know what? That is the truth that I'm willing to face for what I feel in my heart. It's not for gimmicks. It's not paying my bill. People laugh at you. My mother says, as a child, I always talked about them upstairs, and they come and pick up, and I'm waiting for them to return. I try to watch every science fiction to decipher why I feel that way, and I ask myself, why is it that we cannot talk about what we truly feel? It was before any science fiction entered my head. I knew that there's something in the sky that is round, that is shiny. They come to pick you up, they talk to you, they give you lessons. And you hear in this human body, and every time you have to go back, it's like very, very hard, because you realize where everybody is, and most of us are asleep. That is a fact. So even my mom was like, you seem to be waiting for something. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't make any sense. So, well, that waiting for me is coming to a close, as I see as times is changing, that I take to heart what all the ancient cultures predicted for what is to come now and what is to take place, and how they got decimated and almost wiped out by other authorities that have different belief systems. And we laugh about Aborigines when they say we come from different planetary systems to fulfill missions down here, that we have relatives. It's laughed about that there's a Dogon tribe in Africa, in Mali, that have what's known to science roughly 6,000-year-old cult where they celebrate Sirius A, B, and C. And that was before NASA developed any tool to find any freaking planet. You can go into the scriptures and check the cave paintings of the Dogons that depict an X position and a Y position. And they show Sirius A and Sirius B as these two planets that travel and cross and travel and cross in a 60-year interval that they celebrate. And then they looked at the cave paintings, and anybody can investigate this. They're like, why is it that this cave painting and your ritual that's 6,000 years old looks exactly like the human genome? And why is it in their rituals they can explain why we are who we are? And they talk about our ancestors are from Sirius. Why is that laughed at? Why is that mythified? Like I waltz into a system. I'm going that way because that shows you how deep our conflicts are. Decimate your tribe. Have 2 members left in that tribe. Just as a reference. And you know what I turn these 2 members in? A myth. I'm killing your people, and then I'm telling you don't even exist. And your stuff that you celebrate is fabricated storyline, because psychologically you need a caretaker in order for you and the world to make sense. See how disrespectful the powers that be walked in there, moved stuff, and projected their reality into the world. And this is where we are, and we have to learn to get out of these projections that are not us, and begin to open to fields that explain to us who we truly are. Then we will get out the fights, the misunderstandings, because some of us are Sirian, some of us are Orion, some of us are Pleiadian, some of us are Andromedan, Zeta Reticulum, Cassiopean, Mantidian. Like, we don't even know all the races that are here, and why they do what they do, and why they do what they do, and who looks like what in their ethereal form. Not everybody has sight. Not everybody understands what sight is. What is that 5th dimensional sight? What does that mean your third eye's open? What does that mean that some people say the third eye doesn't even exist? What does that mean when your pineal gland is active? One thing I found out about the pineal gland, what people don't know, is this little pebble sitting Right here, you go x-axis and y-axis. They meet at this point in the middle center where your two brain hemispheres meet. Right under it, it's this little thing that used to be as big as an eye. You know, when science opened the skull of a dead body, they investigated, so they cut that piece out, and they found out that actually the pineal gland is an eye. It has a retina, and it baffles them. Why is it that it has a retina, but it doesn't have a lens? Because it is an interdimensional eye that picks up light waves on a higher spectrum and a higher octave, thus activated if you go into psychedelic adventures or entheogen substances. So let's close this chapter as, sorry that I'm moving that much, the ants below me are eating my feet and you don't know the pain. So I'm trying to keep it together here because I have to move. They're forcing me to move. Stay at peace. Stay in your integrity. Be authentic with who you are. Leave this space to attract those that can be in resonance with you, those that you do not have to convince. And all will be well. You will be fine, and you will be as bright as rain. And the transformation takes place as we speak, as you listen to me. And much respect for being here. And thank you for listening. And yeah, the ants is getting to me. In Lak'ech and namaste. And we see you in the next Ra one-on-one show. Take care, and God bless. Yeah, and to end this, what I wanted to say is, try not to engage in battle. Don't try to follow the task. Try to make somebody happy. Be yourself. Serve when you can. Be in your happy mind state. And if you see somebody, where they are and what they do, don't try to engage. Give them their space. And find what you do. And find an equilibrium, a platform, a common denominator where you can meet. If that is not possible, just simply stay out of it. Save yourself the trouble. Save yourself the emotional stress. And move on. Don't try to sweet talk you into things that may look better because you want it that way. If you can't do it, it will never happen because it takes two to tango. But if there can't not be a room or space where you can meet each other, where that dance can take place, then you get out of that, you stop fighting, and you give yourself the space to be your best partner. And then true love, or whatever you look for, will reveal itself. For some, that can be different ways. Being solo, or meeting one, or meeting the one in years. But main thing is don't try to see that or find that in others. See that more in you. Find that more in you. And never give up in believing in you. So what makes me happy is making my keys, finding crystals, making little gadgets, building stuff, creating. People resonate, come back, and say, I love your creations. And my love and my passion goes in here, not as an escape, as in see myself as like a 4-year-old. What is it that Ra wants to do? And you know what? I like to live to create and be myself and allow the others to be in that space to be themselves. And not to avoid it, to face the conflict and talk about it. And face the fact that some friends might say, okay, if that's your choice, that's where you want to be, okay. you're on your own. Well, you have to face that. I'm here now for the crossing to stay on course and help clarify myself as Earth restores itself with the wave. So I say, as we go down this heavy current, hold on to the raft. Trust in that you can hold on to it. We're all in the same boat. And I'll see you on the flip side. Namaste. For reals.